What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. Our choir instructor used to tell us, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're actually late, you're dead to me. And with many things in life, that holds true, but especially the Yu-Gi-Oh market. If you're late, you're probably waiting for Konami to actually notice a card go and then say, I can make money on that, and reprint it down the road. If you're early, you see OCG news, you go ahead and get that initial hype, or you wait for things to cool down after the OCG news, still well ahead, and get yours just a little bit higher than it was. Look at Mega Riser. Remember, it went up to 18, then back to 12, now it's 70. Well, I take for granted all the time cards in my house like Graph, Malbranch of the Burning Abyss, Achu. People are allergic to playing gold rares, it seems, right? This is a $7 holo for that version now, and even the rare from Duelist Alliance is bought out to the point you're spending $7 to $8 on this, and people and their money are actually being parted around this price because the $6 copies are all gone. This just is crazy, but Burning Abyss has had times in the meta again and again. A lot of versions have become light play, mild play, unplayable over time, and with 5 years between us and this gold series for the last mass reprint of it, yeah, we haven't seen this in some time. Also, Seer Gold Series is a market price of $5 with only 23 listings, and the rare is above 3. I knew the rare was above 3 a long time ago. I hadn't paid attention to it since, and it looks like it's about $4 plus here when you are looking for it today. This is all from Phantom Knight, PK, Hype, the rank 3 engine getting played within, where you can also use Tour Guide Kagamusha to chain block Ash Blossom, or you can like use these, you know, as your starters, but realistically you usually want to use them in combo. You don't want to see these together early. That's actually a really bad hand. Speaking of Tour Guide, her ultimate rare is almost back to her all-time max, which was around 360, bubbling from buyouts to 400, but no actual sales there. Well, 340 right here for 3 copies before it's actually towards 445, and if people started going that crazy, they just might, because we see actual spending around 400. Wow, those are records. I hadn't actually clicked to see this. That's record sales, I think, for Tour Guide out of any moment here. People really are going crazy around the Phantom Knight deck. Of course, it gets a huge upgrade when we get the Yusha/Hero tokens out of Grand Creators. That's over in January. That's creeping up on us. But look at this. Even gold Tour Guides from last year, you might have some money you didn't know you had, are $3+ at this point. Look at this. They're around 4s. So gold series, maximum gold itself, aging extremely well here. That's why I like these sets, especially sealed diamond hands long term. But the individual packs of maximum gold, they're starting to go up rather fast, where these, they're going up a little slower for the displays, but they are disappearing. So be aware of that from Gold Series. Now, Cherubini, it's been here for some times, but I get it sooner than later using that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. I've had a lot of questions suddenly after last video on the TCG player link. Unfortunately, it doesn't provide bonus bucks back or anything. I've actually tried to poke like TCG player to do those kinds of incentives, but think of it like a tip system. You're already spending, and it does give back to a creator when you're using it. Cherubini, however, the Ultra, it's been going up slowly, even though 420, blaze it, but it's around the $5 card almost now, even for that Mega 10 Ultra Rare from last year. And like we've talked about those 10s, they've gone way up in price. They're not worth opening, and the singles are pretty much out there for what they are. A lot of people wanting to upgrade to that Secret Rare. Unlim's around 13. Where's the first I'd land at this point? 1820, I would guess, if I had to just throw a dart at the dartboard. A little bit more, hitting above $20 at this point at 21 to 22. Also, I noticed with Danger reprints happening all over the place left and right, it feels like Tsuchinoko actually has the least amount of printings, and its ultra rare is $11+. It sees play in some of the Phantom Knight builds, and the secret rare, the unlims are around 18, but the first editions aren't too far ahead at 21. I could see this gap definitely widening as people go for the ultra rare. Like, you would see a wider gap within the market, and then with the yeah, Ultra pressing up continually in price, that would press up the secret rare. Danger Jackalope, however, is actually lower in quantities for its versions. Remember, it got a quick reprint from Battles of Legend and the Megatons, both in secret rare for a little nice upgrade, but every single version is starting to get lower, so I would get that sooner than later as well. Forbidden Chalice is a hot topic of tech in this format. I've seen it a lot on Dueling Book, and the gold rare now has a market price of $3, and that's about the price you're paying from most of the sellers, and it quickly jumps up towards $5. It basically forces the issue of on-field monsters and negation, and for boards that actually have like F-Zero, they can't even stop it. It just takes care of some of the issues. I do think that Droplet, the option to not have people respawn and take care of multiple cards is better, but this is a somewhat budget option that also want trigger talents like Effect Veiler would. A lot of people are eyeing this, but Lightning Storm floating around as well, back row destruction, makes me a little queasy to end up putting this in, but a lot of people are choosing to tech it right now, and the ultimate rare is once again skyrocketing like crazy, and you see the only near mint first ed left is $250, as actual sales around even the $200 mark for first eds have happened. What a world we live in today. Droll and Lockbird has some buyouts happening. Legendary Collection Kaiba, you might see, is now $30 for the freaking ultra rare. STBL also extremely low in quantities and starting to head up in price, so you might want to get your Drolls for this format if you are playing Droll and Lockbird. I've seen a lot of combos able to play harshly through it to where it does stop other decks dead in its tracks or really hurt their resource game with that turn-long floodgate effect. Magician Souls is just something to point out that it's getting a Searcher in Battle of Chaos, that being early talk. And Magician Souls, well, we're hoping Legendary Duelist Season 3 comes at some point, ties into Battle of Chaos, gives us secret rare souls, or we get a reprint of this freaking somewhere, but it's been going up in price for some times. A lot of people commenting on just how crazy it is and what it's been doing, but I wanted to go a little different direction talking about this card, and one of its best targets we noticed is the Iris Sword Soul. And while this is definitely flopped in terms of, oh yeah, it's gonna be played over here, no bro, you're gonna see so much of this in the metagame, like, it's not really doing that heavy lifting, but it still has the waifu tax. Well, I think similar to Fairjeet, where she was played in Dogmatica as a dump target, and that actually skyrocketed the Starlight initially before Tri-Brigade started to get good, kid. This card could be probably one of the best targets for Souls if you're not playing pure Dark Magician or something, and if Souls is ramping back into a metagame / is super viable, you could see some people teching a copy of this if they don't have the most natural of copies in their deck. Just something to think about, that outside forces from other decks can influence other cards long term, but we'll have to wait and see how that actually plays out. Mystic Fighters has some interesting movement after reprints from Gold Series hitting this time and time again. Mardell, yes, not a Dragon Maid, covered for once, has been going up steadily, and I was like, I could have sworn this was cheaper some time ago, and you can see an actually absurd sales rate on it, but yeah, just last month, this was a $20 solid card, and here it is selling like hotcakes at 26, and you do still see listers around 27, but it quickly starts to head towards 30. So this is generic plant goodness. You also have Sunvine, Sun Avalon, and it's played outside of just generators. Be aware, Mardell probably could use a reprint at some point, but it's the overshadowed, overlooked Mystic Fighter archetype, as now they're getting to the Math Mechs with more of the Dragon Maids. I also, in one of those, wait, when did this happen things, Auroradon has been talked about a lot as combos and the back end of this metagame, and I was looking through the price history, I was like, I could have sworn this was still $350, and indeed it was. Not too long ago, just the end of last month, tons of people grabbing them for $250. So this card kind of doubled up and creeped up, with a lot of people going with Hulk combos, but also looking into Auroradon, and I think isn't the Speedroid decks or something also going alongside with this in their combos. Security Dragon, no clue when this happened. It's just insanely low on listings and going up in price. I didn't know this was about a $3 card realistically, with very few listings under it. So be aware that that's a thing. It seems to have really just solid sales rates over the last, period of time, it's just an incredibly moving card. Then, I mean, we've always made fun of it being chibi firewall. I feel like it's used mostly in only degenerate strategies. Somebody pointed out table 500 could be the reason for this, but it's just been super consistent over time. It's out of a $30 MSRP set, and this shows why you don't sell your bulk out of these kinds of sets, especially when they have some decent effects to them. Rudy Rose, Raggin' Raggy. This card is almost off the market, 22 listings, yet it is still trying to cling to that $22 price you see here on the front page. Though it's 25 after just a couple copies are gone. I'm seeing this summoned a lot in Sword Soul. You probably want to get yours sooner than later. If you were to ask me, John, how do you feel about your King's Court investment? It's only gone, it was 92 a box, now it's 78 a box, and there's so many listings at this. I would say, I think the hype from the initial Pharaoh rare that just really sucks has left the room. And when you look at these, their worst Millennium rares, Slifer is now 50, Ra is 40, and Obelisk is $30? Really? Well, when it comes to these cards, Obelisk just has so little foiling and it looks ugly. Even at 1 per case, and the name God card, it's not enough to really save it from the market and perception. A card is usually at the price it should be. Well, I feel that's a bit low. I also agree. Who wants it? It looks really bad. And then when you look at the top in the secret rare misprints that were only in the NA print, those have also continued to go down, even though they are really an interesting collectible that only appeared over here. Well, why? Like, what would make you want to go after these unless you're a hardcore DM era collector? And while there's a lot of cash in DM era, yeah, not a lot of people touching these with a 10-foot pole. But other things in the set, which I did call going up over time, F-Zero going crazy, Lightning Storm going crazy. So yeah, I'm still in for Diamond Hands. Not going to panic sell mine. It can continue to go down, and I'm still happy at the price I bought it at. But like, there's really good reasons that this has continued to go down. Oh yeah, Ultimate Utopia overshadowing the collector rare one was also funny. But there's solid value inside from the singles, but the set's not really worth tearing open for said singles. Polymerization Secret Rare is just one of those cards that has creeped up over time. Last I remember, this was $4 to $5. This is now almost an $8 card for its Secret Rare version, and you have all sorts of reasons for that between casual and semi-competitive, but mostly casuals that would be collecting this. But it's still a really nice looking version of the card. I really respect Kaiba Collection doing that split rarity of, oh, secret rares and ultra rares for a March set. Can we get that back at some point, Konami? That would be really nice. And finally, I just wanted to point out another card you might have you didn't know was worth as much money as it is. World Legacy Succession has been higher, towards $10, $11, and it was supposed to get a reprint in the Dragoonity Structure deck that we never got, which did lower its value for some time when people saw it was going to get a reprint. So here's a very nice card where the ultra rare is actually super low on quantities and inching back up in price towards the higher rarity from the Megatins, and this version looks amazing. So I would think about, you know, either A, if you just want this in your arsenal, getting it sooner than later, but there could be reprints on the horizon. We have Brothers of Legend, Goes from the Trash 2, so many reprint sets each year. We're on like 4 of them now, among OTS packs and other stuff, but this card is just notable that it's high in price and it's a decent option depending on the decks you're playing, and does see itself float back into certain metagames depending on the deck you are playing. That being said, thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. Thanks for sticking around and hear an old man talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Prices, but it's really been super interesting lately. I've been super enjoying actually going over these changes, actually getting new perspectives on certain cards and the metagame through the market, and that's been really fun. Thanks for watching, everybody.